In 37 AD, the people of Rome awoke to news that gave them joy. The son of the beloved leader, Germanicus. He's back. They appointed him king and emperor, under whose hands goodness would spread throughout the empire, as well as joy. And indeed, a year of goodness, justice, and prosperity did not disappoint them until the first year of his reign had elapsed. And this incident happened here. Everything changed, and the era of the just emperor ended, and his era came. Caligula the Elder. May God's peace and mercy be upon you, my friends. In today's story, I will tell you madness that you have never heard before, and at the end we will arrive at one truth. Beware of megalomania, for it will destroy you, and beware of being silent about injustice at the beginning, otherwise you will be much later. I am Hassan Hashem, and I will tell you many of the most wonderful stories from different eras, cultures, and crises. So please hit the like button to incentivize the publication of this historic content. You haven't followed me yet? Press the follow button, and don't forget the alarm button to receive a notification. Don't miss out on any of these great stories. And by the way, on her Instagram page, we approached 1,000 followers there. You will find exceptional content only for that platform. And we will change a lot of the equations spread in that world, as we did here. You can find the link to the page in the description of the video here and in the first comment. Now take a deep breath and let's start. Let's start our story. On 31st August 12th, in the Italian city of Antium, Gaius Caesar Augustus Germanicus was born, the third son of the beloved Roman leader Germanicus and his wife, the granddaughter of Emperors Agrippine the Great. His great-grandfather to this child was none other than the famous Emperor Julius Caesar. That is why you will find, my friends, that the name of Caesar is mentioned in more than one place in this story of ours. The young child lived in the care of his parents and with his 6 brothers and sisters, a normal and happy life. The child Gaius was a constant companion to his father's combat training arenas, and sometimes to the battlefields. For this purpose, his mother designed a traditional uniform for Roman warriors to measure her child and accompanied it with small shoes. The little child strutted among his father's soldiers in his military uniform and small shoes, so that the soldiers called him his name. "What shoes?" the little soldier. The family of the commander Germanicus often accompanied him on his military campaigns, as was the case in the 19th year AD when his father died in Antioch under circumstances described by historians as mysterious. While it was widespread in Roman society that the feat and beloved leader had died as a result of a mysterious illness he had suffered, in that area, his family was certain that he had been poisoned by order of Emperor Tiberius because he considered him by evidence. Although Tiberius was Germanicus's adoptive uncle, he was adopted as his son by order of Emperor Augustus to ensure the continuity of the dynasty. Germanicus became the legitimate heir of Tiberius of the relationship. Historically, it was known for the tension between the two men, and this made the family certain that Tiberius was the one who killed the beloved leader of the army and the people. After the death of her husband, Agrippina returned with her 6 children to Rome, and there she was in conflict with Emperor Tiberius, who saw in her a threat to his throne. He first exiled him to the island of Pandateria in 29 AD, the island that was known for lack, mistreatment, hunger, and hell. The issue did not stop with the mother, as the emperor did not exile her alone in that year to that island, but rather he saw the danger in the sons, also, especially in the eldest and middle son, his eldest brother Nero Caesar. He was a candidate to succeed his father, so Tiberius, with considerable support and various intrigues from the commander of the imperial guard, Cygnus, framed him for treason. Remember the name Cygnus well. He was exiled in the same year as his mother, but to another frightening island called the island of Pontia. The eldest son died of hunger in exile in 31 AD. The mother met the same fate as her son and followed him in her exile, and died of hunger in 33 AD. The middle brother was no better off than his older brother, Drusus Caesar, who was accused of conspiring against Tiberius and was arrested and imprisoned in an underground cell in Rome, where he remained. years before he died of hunger, and was also said to have committed suicide in 33 AD. As for Caligula, he escaped the conspiratorial plans because he was a child who did not pose a danger to the emperor, neither he nor his daughters, so Emperor Tiberius kept them hostage in Italy and under his counterparts, especially Caligula. The boy Caligula learned the arts of survival and living in the imperial court during his life with his mother in the palace court, and even with his cunning and intelligence was able to gain status with Emperor Tiberius, even after what happened to his mother and brothers. He mastered playing the role of those who did not care about what happened to them. At the hands of the emperor, Caligula's favor and status. It prompted the emperor to invite him to reside with him on the island of Capri in 31 AD, the island where the emperor lived and retired from people more than 5 years ago. There Caligula studied the art of flattery, and even, according to some historical sources, he did. He was able to turn the emperor on Commander Siganus, eventually leading him to the gallows for treason. Strange irony, isn't it? These arts, mastered by Caligula, earned him the status that made him the rightful heir to the throne after the death of the emperor, along with Tiberius Gemellus, grandson of Emperor Tiberius. The emperor died in 37 AD. Although historical sources indicate that he was a sick old man at the time of his death, many historical blogs do. She indicated that it was Caligula who orchestrated his murder by strangulation by the commander of the imperial guard. Hated beware, my friends. Do not forget that we are talking here about Caligula, who is young in age. According to the will of the emperor, Caligula officially appointed G. Milos as his partner in power due to his young age. He was a boy who had not yet reached the age of 18. This is on the one hand, and on the other hand, in order to fully tighten his grip on power. However, Caligulagus considered Milos a threat. He ordered his execution less than a year after assuming power, stating that he was taking an anti-poison drug because he wanted to poison Caligula in a plot to kill him. After the execution of Tiberius Gemellus, rule became in the hands of Caligula alone, and with him began an era of absolute madness. At first, the people gave their new emperor a hero's welcome and called him our son and our star. How could he not be the son of the beloved commander Germanicus? Do you remember him when he did not disappoint them at first? The first year of his rule was characterized by justice, equality, prosperity, tax reduction, the release of detainees in prisons, etc. But suddenly, without warning, in the year 37 CE, Ligiola fell prey to a dangerous and mysterious illness. The young emperor fought the disease fiercely for a whole month until he was able to overcome it, but the old Caligula disappeared as the disease disappeared and the mad Caligula came to the fore. He opened his reign of madness by declaring himself a god. He ordered statues of him to be erected in all the temples of the empire. Arriving in Jerusalem, it was followed by forcing senators and subjects to bow down to him and worship him. Divinity did not stop at him alone. After the death of his favorite sister Julia Drusilla in 38 AD, because of her close proximity to him, he declared her a goddess and ordered the people to offer prayers and offerings to her statues. Because she was a goddess, he prohibited crying over her. She had to be wept for because she was the emperor's sister. What? Yeah? Crying and not crying became two crimes, and the people became between the two hammers of the bond. The suffering of the people did not stop there. This crazy emperor prevented the inheritance of private property to his children, as all security belonged to the state and its treasury. He began issuing death sentences in Yemen and the north, and forced fathers to witness the killing of their children. This tyrant. He closed all the food stores throughout the empire, not just to cause a major famine in the country. Thus, he quenches his bloodthirst while watching people die of hunger until he said his saying, which was immortalized in history books, "I will be your alternative to the plague." And because madness is an art, Caligula was creative in his madness. Listen up next. Caligula laid out a plan to build a bridge between his palace and Jupiter. Why? For the planet Jupiter, in his opinion, is the abode of the former gods, and he is the living god. Therefore, the bridge will be used to go up to the buyer and conduct consultations. With the gods, we continue with the madness of this tyrant. We see him suddenly ordering the killing of all the bald people in the country because he simply hates them. And the irony is that some historical sources indicated that he himself was strangely bald, right? Also in what was mentioned in history about his madness. It was said that he fought at sea. Yes, the story says that while he was leading a military campaign in Britain. He ordered his soldiers to stop abruptly and to collect seashells. After collecting seashells, he returned to Rome and declared his victory over Neptune, the god of the sea, and commanded everyone to celebrate this victory. As for the most prominent incidents of madness, which no book dealing with the biography of this crazy emperor, or even a play about his life, did not fail to mention, their hero was his dear horse, Ancetatus, or Tantos. The incident occurred when Caligula entered the Senate, riding a horse which aroused the resentment and objection of some members who had the courage to express their resentment. The emperor was surprised at the reason for the resentment, as his horse lived in a marble stable and ate only in gold bowls. More important than these elders, because he simply carries the great emperor on his back. The emperor's reaction, he was impressed with wonder. And the man simply appointed his horse a senator. He even held a party the next day, to which he invited all the members and ordered them to wear formal clothes. Everyone came to the party and it was time to eat. The dishes and utensils were placed in front of the guests. So what do you think? It was food. Listen, next to the party food served to the guests. It was hay. Yeah, hay. And everybody ate this food. No one has the luxury or courage to fight this emperor, the tyrant, and because every oppressor has an end, the end of this emperor was tragic. The emperor, who owned the hearts of his citizens, his army, and his guards in the beginning, was killed by his guards with 30 baits, each of which carried an amount of malice and hatred that he planted in the hearts of those who oppressed them. Rather, they were not satisfied with killing him, so they killed him, his wife and baby daughter as well. On that very day, they attempt to completely erase all traces of this emperor, who continues to be regarded as history's most infamous tyrant to this very day. Consequently, this marked the conclusion of one of the most renowned periods of Roman insanity, presided over by its most debated emperors. However, if the guards genuinely believe they have eradicated every piece of him and his lunacy, I feel sorry for him. They have erred, leaving one remnant, and unquestionably, they were oblivious to what would occur following the deranged Caligula. And that, my friends, is what I will tell you in an upcoming episode. Our story ends tonight when the Caligula madness ends. The talk is long, and what we know of the madness of history and its people is a drop in the sea of what to do. Caligula's story may have contained a lot of falsification and extinguishing the crazy character of it, or it may be true as it was reported in its entirety. But what is certain is that it is a story that taught us that injustice only breeds injustice and hatred. Chaos and madness only breed chaos and madness, and from failing to stand up to the oppressor in the first place. Unleash a monster. No one will be able to stop him until the end, and even if Caligula today becomes just a historical figure told in our stories, but look closely, my friends, this figure exists today and exists in abundance. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the alarm. In the end, my friends, history has a lesson for you, and every Thursday we have many stories and stories.